Today on Rainbow Magic Book Club, we are reading the last fairy from the Rainbow Fairies series, Heather the Violet Fairy. She's the 7th book. And it says, sorry for the glare, Heather the Violet Fairy is in a spin. Perhaps the colourful carousel horse can lead Rachel and Kirsty to the final fairy. There's a fairy to be found in each Rainbow Magic book. Collect them all and bring Sparkle back to Fairyland. This book is a bit, bent. Whoa! It looks like I coloured in this. Wow! I coloured this in when I was younger. That's so cool. Message on a kite. I can't believe this is the last day of our holiday, said Rachel Walker. She gazed up at her kite as it rose in the clear blue sky. Kirsty Tate watched the purple kite soar above the field beside Mermaid Cottage. But we still have to find Heather, she reminded Rachel. Jack Frost's wicked spell had banished the 7 Rainbow Fairies to Rainspell Island. And without the Rainbow Fairies, Fairyland had no colour. Kirsty and Rachel had already found Ruby, Amber, Saffron, Fern, Sky, and Izzy. Now there was just Heather the Violet Fairy left to find. Rachel felt the kite tug on its string. She looked up. Something violet and silver flashed at the end of the kite's long tail. "Look up there!" she shouted. Kirsty shaded her eyes with her hand. "What is it? Do you think it's a fairy?" she asked. "I'm not sure," Rachel said, winding the string. As the kite came bobbing towards them, Kirsty saw that a long piece of violet-coloured ribbon was tied to its tail. She helped Rachel untie the ribbon and smooth it out. "It's a tiny silver writing on it," Rachel said. "Follow me." Rachel crouched down to have a closer look. It said, "Follow me." Suddenly the ribbon was lifted up by the breeze. It fluttered across the field. "It must be leading us to Kirsty." "Heather," Kirsty said, jumping up. Rachel rolled her kite. "Mom, is it okay if we go exploring one last time?" she called. Mrs. Walker was talking to Kirsty's mum in the garden outside Mermaid Cottage. Kirsty's family was staying in Dolphin Cottage next door. "Of course, as long as Kirsty's mum agrees with Mrs. Walker," replied. "It's fine by me," said Mrs. Tate, "but don't go far. The ferry leaves at 4 o'clock. "We'll have to hurry," Rachel whispered to Kirsty. They ran through the soft green grass, following the ribbon, which bobbed and drifted on the breeze. Suddenly the ribbon whisked out of sight behind the thick hedge. "Where's it gone?" Kirsty wondered. "Through here," Rachel said, pulling aside one of the branches. Kirsty followed her friend as she squeezed through the hedge. Luckily, the leaves weren't too prickly. On the other side, they found a path and a gate. There was a sign on the gate in the purple paint saying, "Summer Fair today." Kirsty and Rachel went through the gate and into a pretty garden. Stalls were selling candy, floss, and ice cream at the edge of the smooth green lawn. There were people everywhere, chatting and laughing. "Isn't this lovely?" Rachel said, looking round in surprise. A woman with a little girl holding a bunch of balloons smiled at her. Suddenly, Kirsty spotted a ribbon fluttering toward a merry-go-round at the far end of the lawn. It wrapped itself round the golden flagpole and danced in the breeze like a tiny flag. "It must be leading us to the merry-go-round," Kirsty said. She grabbed her friend's hand and they ran across the grass. The merry-go-round was as pretty as a fairy castle. Rachel stared with delight at the circle of wooden horses on their shiny golden poles. "Hello there," called a friendly voice behind them. "I'm Tom Goodfellow. Do you like my merry-go-round?" Rachel and Kirsty turned to see an old man with white hair and a kind smile. "Yes, it's lovely," Rachel said. Kirsty watched the wooden horses rise and fall in time to the cheerful music. "Look, Rachel," she gasped. "The horses are all rainbow-colored. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet." Rachel looked closer. Through the whirling horses, she could see that the pillar of the center of the merry-go-round was decorated with a picture of rainbow-colored horses galloping along a beach. The merry-go-round slowed down and the music stopped. Mr. Goodfellow climbed up to help the riders dismount. "All aboard for the next ride," he called. Lots of more excited children began to climb on the horses. Mr. Goodfellow smiled down at Rachel and Kirsty. "How about you two?" he asked, his blue eyes twinkling. Chapter 2, Magical Ride. "We'd love to have a go on your merry-go-round," said Kirsty. "Quick, Rachel, there are 2 horses left." She scrambled up on one of them. A name was painted in gold on the saddle. "My horse is called Indigo Princess," Kirsty said, stroking the horse's shiny coat. Rachel climbed on a pretty horse next to Kirsty's. It had a lilac-colored coat and a silver mane. "Mine is called Prancing Violet." "Hold tight, everyone," Mr. Goodfellow called out. The music started up and the merry-go-round began to turn. Prancing Violet and Indigo Princess swooped up and down on their painted poles. Rachel laughed out loud as the ride spun faster and faster. The garden flashed by and the flowers and paths disappeared in a blur. The sound of music and laughter faded away. Rachel's heart skipped a beat. Now, the only horse she could see was Kirsty's horse, Indigo Princess, and she could feel Prancing Violet's hooves thudding on the ground beneath her. Kirsty felt a sea breeze tugging at her hair. Indigo Princess seemed to toss her head and kick up sand as she galloped along. "Oh!" Kirsty exclaimed, tasting salt spray on her lips. "This is like riding a real horse." "It's brilliant," Rachel agreed. She felt as if they were racing along a beach, just like the horses she'd seen on the pillar in the middle of the merry-go-round. Before Rachel could say anything else, the horse began to slow down. The sandy beach faded away and the sound of music returned. The merry-go-round came to a smooth halt. Kirsty patted Indigo Princess's neck as she dismounted. "Thanks for the special ride," she whispered. Then she turned to Rachel. "This merry-go-round is definitely magic. But where is Heather the Violet Fairy?" Rachel slipped out of Prancing Violet's saddle and frowned. "I don't know," she said. Then she heard the tiniest tinkling laugh. It was coming from behind her. Rachel turned round. There was nobody there, just a picture on the pillar in the middle of the merry-go-round. Rachel blinked. There was a fairy riding the violet-coloured horse. She wore a short, floaty purple dress, long purple socks, and ballet slippers. A few purple flowers were tucked behind one of her ears. "Kirsty," Rachel whispered, pointing. "I think I've just found Heather the Violet Fairy." Chapter 3, The Seventh Fairy. Mr. Goodfellow was helping the other riders off the horses. Quickly, Rachel and Kirsty squeezed past the other horses to look more closely at the pillar. "Heather must have been trapped in the painting," Rachel said. "We've got to get her out," Kirsty said. "Yes," Rachel agreed, "but how and what can we do with these people here?" Just then, Almost as if he had heard them, Mr. Goodfellow clapped his hands. "Follow me, everyone. The clowns are here." "Now's our chance," Kirsty said. Rachel had an idea. "I know. Let's use our magic bags," she said. Tiana, the fairy queen, had given Kirsty and Rachel bags of special gifts to help them rescue the rainbow fairies. "Of course, I've got mine here." Kirsty put her hand in her pocket and took out her magic bag. It was glowing with a soft golden light. When she opened it, a cloud of glitter fizzed up into the air. Kirsty slipped her hand into the bag. There was something long and slim like a pencil. It was a tiny golden paintbrush. Kirsty felt puzzled. What help is that? We don't want to paint any more pictures. Maybe Heather knows what we can use it for, Rachel suggested. Amber told us how to help her when she was trapped in the shell. Good idea, Kirsty said. As she bent closer to the pillar, the tip of the brush touched the painting's fairy hand. Suddenly, the whole picture glowed, and the fairy's tiny fingers moved. A single violet-scented petal floated down from the picture. Look, Rachel gasped. The brush is working. Some magic on the painting, Kirsty whispered. She began to stroke the brush all round the outline of the fairy. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then the picture glowed even brighter. The fairy shivered. That tickles, she said with a silvery laugh. The magic brush had painted Heather back to life. Rachel checked that no one was watching. Then, with Kirsty's last stroke, the fairy sprang out of the painting. Her wings flashed like drills. Purple fairy dust shot everywhere, turning into violet-scented blossoms that floated around her. Thank you so much for rescuing me, said Heather, hovering in front of them. She held a purple wand tipped with silver. I'm Heather the Violet Fairy. Who are you? Do you know where my rainbow sisters are? I'm Rachel, and this is Kirsty, said Rachel. Your sisters are safe in the pot at the end of the rainbow. Hooray! Heather did a twirl of delight, scratching violet sparkles around them. I can't wait to see them again. Kirsty held out her hand, and Heather landed gently on it. Kirsty held her out of view until they had run through the garden, past all of the people watching the clowns. They ran out of the gate and down the path that led to the wood. Deep inside the wood was a peaceful glade with a willow tree on one side. The pot of the end of the rainbow was hidden under its trailing branches. As soon as Rachel and Kirsty reached the clearing, there was a shout from inside the pot. Izzy the Indigo Fairy zoomed out. Heather, you're safe, she cried. Look, everybody. Rachel and Kirsty had found our missing sisters. Saffron flew out of the pot on the back of a huge bumblebee, followed by another rainbow fairy. The air flashed and fizzled with scented bubbles, flowers and leaves, stars, ink drops, and tiny butterflies. Bertram the frog footman hopped out from behind the pots, beaming from ear to ear on his broad green face. As the fairies flew up to hug and kiss Heather, her blossoms filled fairy dust mingles with theirs, and the scent of violets filled the clearing. We knew you were coming, said Amber the Orange Fairy, doing a cartwheel. I've been tingling with magic all morning. Now that is all I'm going to read. I read quite a lot of this book. But look at the last page. Same thing. Same picture, just reverse. So thank you so much for watching me read the Rainbow Fairy series. And I'll be reading the Weather Fairies next.